What's happening, everybody? We're doing a night edition tonight. How's everybody doing?
What's going on?
Welcome, welcome.
Why is Rick's cam not showing up here?
Am I not showing up? Technically, you don't want to see my mug anyway. There's a lot going on, folks, and I really try hard to stay as neutral as I can on these politics, and I still have haters for it.
Are you red on your camera?
I'm blue. I'm blue. Abadi, abada. And just
His box is missing.
coming out and talking about different topics, you're going to ruffle feathers. It's just the way it is. I know a lot of people are cool with it and we can agree to disagree or, I get even trying to be neutral. There is a bias, but I'm not out to, I'm not going out of my way to offend anybody.
Can you hear us okay, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we hear him?
We got some technical difficulties.
What's that? Here?
They've lost me. I'm lost. Hello. But anyway.
Oh, there it is.
Sometimes it makes me a little sad that I've hurt people's feelings or offended them in some sort of way. Let's see. So, okay.
We will get there, folks.
Oh man.
All right.
I saw something here. Why are these all muted?
Because those are the actual camera audio.
Oh, yeah, I was saying that.
Yeah. I swear we're professionals, folks.
Always roll the show. They don't have to see my ugly mug.
Yeah, we want to be like Aaron. Aaron, say something again.
How's it going, everybody? God bless you.
Nothing. Can we have them dial in like we did with?
Yeah, I'll have to call your phone.
Yeah.
Let's connect Bluetooth. Sorry, Aaron. Technical difficulties. So you got to connect the Bluetooth here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But anyway.
So you're going to call in on your phone, and we'll use that audio.
All right. We are connected, and I will give you a ring, good sir.
And I still don't see Rick.
Yeah, no one cares.
All right.
You've been kind of grumpy today.
It's ringing now.
I have.
All right. We got a little bit of an echo.
To turn your speaker off. There we go. Oh, nope, I can still hear it.
Hello?
I don't hear his telephone. No, turn the speaker off on your monitor.
Hello? Yeah, there's an echo.
Yeah, we got a bit of an echo going on. Hello.
There we go.
There we go. We got you now.
All right. Sorry. Now I got to find Rick's camera.
Yeah, well, it's all right.
We've never had a camera issue like this before.
Yeah, I got the blue light and everything.
Can you just throw a picture of Rick on there and then we'll pretend he's here?
If you only see what my face is doing now.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've been kind of grumpy
Yeah, it's not online
today. And I think it's like I have so many like projects in the air.
Yeah.
That I'm like, like I have one deal in the works and it's crumbling on me.
Oh.
And I'm okay with it, but it's still a ball in the air.
Yeah.
This and I got a tenant issue. And so it's like I got all these balls in the air and I was like, there's too many balls in the air. I need some things to get grounded. My brain's a little like scatterbrain. Got, projects, some construction projects that, I'm trying to get permitted. And it's like, there's always a little obstacle going on.
You're red?
I'm red.
Okay, good.
That's how grumpy I am. I'm red.
Yeah. Rick's red now.
So
there he is.
All right, we got Rick back.
We almost need to like start over.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to the Rixican podcast.
I am Josue Rico, your host.
You're not Josue. I'm Josue.
Pura vida, everybody.
Yeah.
Que me tacuenpue. Ooh, someone translate that.
Don't know.
That's some Costa Rican slang for you.
Yeah. There we
I
go.
was about to say I've never ordered Chinese food in that language.
All right. And you can, Aaron, you can see Rick now too, right?
No,
No.
Okay, I can fix that.
it looks like his camera's off from what I can see.
I can fix
on there.
that.
I believe in you. Don't let me down.
Boom. Now you see him?
There you
Hey, there we go. All right, we're back to square one, everybody. We're good.
Should I do the intro again? Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, no.
No.
I think that'd be a little redundant.
So on today's show, we have a special guest, Aaron Noble. He's a minister at Patriot Church. And I was told, because we interviewed, I guess, an acquaintance of yours that serves meals to
Steve Cannon.
Steve Cannon, and somehow that got you lined up. And you're like, you guys serve meals Sunday evening at 7 p.m. to anyone in need. What's the story there, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Steve's a good guy up in Spokane and reaches a lot of homeless people up there. And I just church planted in Spokane a few months back and then got the call to return to Moses Lake. But what we're doing on Sunday night is really just an outreach. And we're trying to provide a venue where people can come. All are welcome. And we're trying to provide a venue where people can eat. So not only are they going to eat spiritually, but eat physically, Rick. And we've had, by the grace of God, we've been blessed to have a couple really transformational experiences with some homeless people in our church, where they've gone from really, really, really homeless to, being on fire for God and getting their lives together. And so I feel like God put it on my heart to expand that. And so we're feeding everybody. It's at 7:00, Patriot Church, Moses Lake, on Sunday nights, every Sunday night. And as Coach Wake could attest, it's a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
I actually used to be a pastor at that church when it was Covenant. I'm now associate pastor at Desert Springs with Pastor Gary Pierce. You know him?
Okay, I've never met him. But
So that's through Ian Robertson. Do you know Ian Robertson in Spokane?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, he's on our show tomorrow. But
Oh, nice.
that's how we met Steve Cannon, and then now we're talking to you because my pastor and I are close with Ian Robertson and doing some homeless stuff.
Okay.
And we meet at Red Door Cafe Sundays at 11, Sunday school at 9:30. And it's really cool, actually, the people that wander in off of the streets on Sunday morning, give them some coffee, a donut, and let them hear the word of God as well, too.
I might
That's awesome.
I might have misunderstood you, Donnie. I thought I heard you say sociopastor. What is that? A sociopath is that like a
Associate pastor.
Associate pastor. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Meaning
That's what we said.
I do all the stuff that Aaron won't do. You don't need to clean the toilets.
Yeah, sociopath. We also have an opening position for psychopastor.
I think the cops are here for you, bro. You're gonna. They're here for you.
Now, folks, listen. I am religious neutral, but I think it's great that people have a community and a place to go and serve each other and all those wonderful things.
Yes.
And so, the question on my mind is the name Patriot Church. Why the name Patriot Church?
Well, first, let me just say, Rick, I think God is real. And Lord willing, you'll come around to it and receive his grace in due time, my friend. That's what the Bible tells us. And but I would say Patriot Church ultimately has to do with our faith to permeate every aspect of our life. And we live in a culture where the fewest percentage point people that go by alphabet letters and all sorts of things, identities that are nonsense, are a very loud voice, and they're the squeaky wheel that's getting greased. And so, from a a secular standpoint, a patriot is just somebody that loves his country no matter what the government does, right? And so we believe in loving God and loving people, and in order to do that, we recognize that America is the greatest country in the history of the world, and the last bastion of hope and freedom in this world. And if we lose America, we've lost the whole world to the devil.
Mm.
And part of the reason why I believe God is real, Rick, is because I think you see the demonic play at work in our world. It's a very real battle between good and evil, and in our county, it's not so prevalent, but in our state it is, and in our country it is. And so, from my perspective, we don't have enough people standing up with a backbone, the red-blooded Americans that want to do what's right and stand up for God and His righteousness in a corrupt and perverse culture. And so, we're just we're kind of the Davids of our day, where we're gonna approach Goliath, and we're gonna go after it. We're not afraid to lose our 501c3. We're gonna say what needs to be said from the pulpit, as well as, but we're gonna seek truth and love. I don't want to seem like there's too much bravado here. You guys got me hyped up, bro.
Yeah,
You guys got me kind of pumped up. But we speak truth and love, and we want to help the least of these. But yeah, just our faith can permeate every aspect of our lives. That's why we're Patriot Church.
Yeah.
God and country.
well, yeah, you're pretty bold in your speech there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure some people would really appreciate having some, I guess, a bluntness coming from the pulpit, because I think there's a lot of churches out there that it's kind of watered down.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for those looking for, I guess, some bold words from the pulpit,
Yeah.
Patriot Church.
And if you want the best enchiladas you've ever had, next Sunday, 7:00.
And doesn't Shaq Ledesma go there as well too?
Yeah, brother Shaq. In fact, he's moving back from the Tri-Cities right now. He led worship, and speaking of associate pastor, looking at kind of bringing Shaq into the fold in that capacity.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Excellent. Shaq's good people.
Yeah, he was a worship leader.
I've known him for a very long time.
Yeah,
Before Christ. And
awesome.
it was a story about Shaq one day is that we were both working at Quality Rentals. It's now Buddies. And the guy that was running it, Gabe Adami, was just a jerk to me because I was a Christian. And so he would go out of his way to ridicule me and make me look bad and make me look stupid. And one day Shaq comes to me and he says use some choice words. He says, "Man, you shouldn't have to put up with this, man. You can make minimum wage somewhere else and not have to deal with this garbage. So that's all we're getting is minimum wage here." And I looked at Shaq, and this is before he would dedicated his life to Christ, and I said, "Look, Shaq, I asked God to help me better understand authority. Who am I to decide who am I to argue with who He chooses to do that with?
Wow.
I sit here under this man that treats me like a jerk, but I'm honoring his authority because I asked God to teach that to me." 3 weeks later, Shaq was at a Covenant Church, and I was like, "Whoa, there's Shaq." And same with my manager; he came too.
Awesome.
He came the week before Shaq, and then he made Shaq come the next week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, through the storm, you were able to just glean some light out of it and shine it on somebody. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And authority is something that's a lot of people don't really understand. You can't be in authority unless you're under authority. And
Absolutely.
that's why, I believe I am where I'm at in life. It's because I understand, what authority means. And, for example, Rick lets me come in and out of this building at will because he knows that I honor I'm not going to get into his stuff, and I honor his building and I respect his authority over the building.
Why would you do it at Will, though? What did Will do to you?
Yeah, sorry you have to put up with him every Sunday.
Yeah.
Cops are here for him now, too.
That's ice, bro.
It's ice.
Yeah. Hold on, I got a phone call to me.
Uh-oh.
La migra.
I've said too much.
I've heard some rumors that if you snitch on them, or if you let them know ICE is coming, you could get in trouble. So
Really?
I think it might be people in authority that are warning people. They're like, hey, you're putting these guys' lives at risk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I really want to connect you with my pastor. So if it's okay, I get your number from Josue. That'd be awesome. Because I think you and Pastor Gary will get along great. He has the same compassionate heart as you do.
Awesome.
And he actually used to have church in that building as well too before Covenant was there.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. I'm definitely open to networking with as many people as I can. I don't actively seek it so much because I'm so swamped, so busy. But I just want to say thank you to all of you also just for bringing me on tonight, and appreciate being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to have you.
Well, thanks for feeding the world. One person at a time.
Yeah, it's a big job.
There we go. Yeah.
If you could say one thing defines you as a pastor at Patriot Church, what would you think the people sitting in the pews would say?
It's hard. It's hard to say that with any sort of humility, right? But I would say servant. I'm a I'm a servant, and the reason why I'm a servant is because the grace of God saved me. I've been through satanic ritual abuse and witchcraft in my life. I've been through hell on earth, and I've seen a lot of things that a lot of people haven't seen, and the only reason I'm alive is because of God, because of Jesus Christ. And so, for me, I just I just serve. I just do my best to stand up, and glorify God and uplift others. I don't know exactly what they would say, brother, but honestly, really not too concerned about it either. My only goal is to please God, and as long as I can feel good in my
God,
skin.
love others, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I've told our congregation before. It's like, I don't care if you like me. I want you to like me, but I really don't care, because I'm not called to tickle your ears. I'm called to speak the truth as God puts it on my heart, and I do the best I can in that, in a graceful way. It kind of doesn't seem like it from my interview so far, but I think Josue could testify to that.
Yep.
Maybe we should ask Jose if you could describe.
I'll give you all the dirt offline.
Really quick, a word from a sponsor. Do you own a business or accept credit cards? Most companies can take 2 days or more for the funds to end up in your bank account. Many of us have extremely high rates and fees, especially with reward or program cards. Parallel Economy gets you your money the next day. Sensor-resistant payment processing with no monthly surcharges. Plus, there are no contracts. 24/7 merchant support services, and they will meet or beat the current rate you're at with rates as low as 1.49%. Switch to Patriot Economy today.
Parallel Economy?
Parallel Economy, sorry. Parallel Economy.
They're rebranding to Patriot Economy.
Link in the description. Link in the descriptions. That's my first time doing that ad, so I botched it. Anyway, back to the show.
Economy.
Yeah.
Parallel Economy.
Yeah.
Parallel.
I thought you were kidding. I thought you were going to ask him for a tithe or something. You should have heard that.
Yeah.
It's part of getting on the show. We accept bribes.
On the Rixican show, we accept tithes and offerings no less than 10%
Come on.
of your
Come on.
income.
If they need to know how to spell million, we can help them out with that too, right?
If you can spell million, we accept
No,
that.
we have sponsors too. So. Yeah, you'll hear other sponsors throughout the show.
Yeah. So,
speaking of which, do you have a car or a truck that needs some repair? Brothers Automotive, 761-9744. No job too big, no job too small. Brothers Automotive, I know that both Josue and Rick use their services. Very happy and pleased with the work that's done. In fact, I think Josue has attested that his car wouldn't be running without Brothers Automotive. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, from brake change to front end alignment, from front end repair to engine swaps. Brothers Automotive can do the job for you at a fair price and save you money out the door. Again, Brothers Automotive, 761-9744.
And now for the next 30 minutes of ads.
So I just got a text from somebody that said, Rick, I bought a car a few months ago. Somebody stole it. And I was like, that's terrible news. It's been all day and no one knows where it's at.
Oh, geez.
So can Brothers Automotive fix a stolen car?
Are you in the market for a new car or truck? DetourAutoSales.com can help you with a low price vehicle of your
I
choosing.
was joking about the next 30 minutes of ads, dude.
I had to throw it in. That was
Detour
awesome.
Auto Sales can.
Looking for a car or truck? Take the detour.
Yeah, has your car been stolen? Take the
Do you need to
detour.
derail your podcast?
Detour is a real place, actually. Detour Auto Sales.
It is.
Anyway, back to the show.
Yes.
We like to have fun, if you can't tell, Aaron.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, Aaron, what other service projects do you guys do at Patriot Church?
Yeah, we like to get out in the community. We'll do street preaching. You might see us on the corner,
Walgreens.
school for Christ, and just trying to scatter seeds, seeing if there's any soft hearts out there. So we do a lot of outreach in the community as well. We'll do movie nights. We'll head up to Spokane. We have a ministry called Voice that stands up for the most vulnerable of human beings, those human beings that are still in the belly. And so we believe we're pro-life. We believe in life and the sanctity of it. We believe that it should be protected. And so we just stand up, but we also do that in love, and we want to provide options because, statistics show that 85% of women that get a scan, I forget what they call that. Why am I forgetting that name right now? The
Ultrasound?
Ultrasound?
Yes.
When they get an ultrasound, they keep their baby. And so oftentimes they don't realize there's a lot of options, a lot of government programs, and they have a choice that they can make. And so we just try to bring awareness into walking alongside of some of these women. And actually at our mother church in Knoxville, Tennessee tonight, they're having, I think, close to 10 of the pro-life protesters that were thrown in jail by the Biden administration. They're there tonight. One of them is 90 years old.
That's
She's
ridiculous.
90 years old, and Biden put her in jail for peacefully protesting abortion. And so, they can name a city Chaz and burn it down, right? They can burn down police stations and nothing happens, but you peacefully protest abortion and you get thrown in jail at 90 years old. So these are people that have perfect records other than the fact that they stand up for human life in a peaceful way, and somehow they ended up in jail. So, but Trump pardoned them. That's one of the first things he did. Praise God. And so, yeah, we have a pro-life ministry. We're kind of standing in the gap where a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to kick that hornet's nest. I'm just gonna, we're just gonna not look there. We say, well, you know what? We realize it's a tough decision. We realize that it's really challenging, and all of us have been through it or know somebody that's been through it. But we're going to stand up for God and His righteousness and try to do the right thing as often as possible. So that's a big part of our ministry as well.
Okay.
Nice.
It was interesting. What did you say the basic statistic was? If a woman had an ultrasound, what was that statistic you were saying?
Yeah, it's around 85% of women that get an ultrasound and see their baby actually won't go through and have an abortion.
That's interesting.
That's insane.
They'll keep the baby, yeah. And there's just not enough awareness to know also that they have options. And we know we're old enough that it's a scary situation when it's unprepared. But here's the thing, Planned Parenthood actually sued our ministry a few years back, and they won because they lawyered up and they were able to beat us. And so they almost $1 million. Now, praise God, our insurance covered it all, or else we wouldn't have a church anymore. But we had to get a new insurance company. But all we did is peacefully protest. And what we do is we go up to Planned Parenthood. We go outside. We go not on their property, on the grass outside, and we hold a worship service to Jesus. And we just raise awareness and we bring light to the fact that they're murdering babies. And we do it after hours. We don't do it during hours. And so we tried to do everything we could, but ultimately we were told that there was a lady still inside after hours when we were set up, and she was scared. And because of that, they got, a settlement of $1 million. But all it made us do was move across the street. So we're across the street. We're still going strong. And, who would have thought that Roe versus Wade would have been overturned, right? So we feel like it's having an impact. And, we care about women. We care about babies. And we don't believe that abortion, the killing of babies, should be, it's something that's almost like a contraceptive use these days. People are just like, I can just kill the baby. So we believe in that children are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God, and a baby that's one day from being born inside the womb is just as need of a parent as a baby one day outside of the womb. And so there's layers to that, but nonetheless, we believe it's important.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting how getting a visual and seeing that it's not what they tell you, that it's just a clump of cells and it has a heartbeat and it's a living thing, how that can change your heart in a way to be like, no, I'm not going to make that decision I was going to make.
So does Patriot Church, I mean, you talk about pro-life, do you believe there's any exceptions to that? Like, rape, incest or whatnot? Or are you just like, hey, pro-life all the way?
Yeah, I think there's layers there, and I respect that. I respect that question because that's really, really tough. I would say with miscarriages, that's obviously something that happens. But I don't think that the baby should die because of somebody else's mistake. I think, it's interesting. The only people that are pro-abortion have been born, right?
Yeah.
So, and we have, over 60 million babies that have been murdered in our country. It's like a Holocaust. And it's something that's not spoken of, and they call the place Planned Parenthood, but you can't Planned Parenthood without a baby, right? I mean, and they'll call, bacteria on Mars life, but they'll call the baby in the womb a clump of cells.
It's crazy. When they started it, it was by Margaret
Sanger.
It was called the American Birth Control League.
Yeah,
that's what it was called.
Yeah. And she's obviously had a very strong racist undertone, and a lot of these, a lot of minority babies have been murdered or killed, and these Planned Parenthoods are strategically located, and all anybody has to do is research Margaret Sanger and racism, etc. They can find that for themselves, where she openly talks about that.
Eugenics was a big thing. Was where that's
Absolutely.
what American Birth Control League was about. Was eugenics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to rape and incest and those type of things, the only time, Rick, and I think you asked that question, is the only time I see is if the mother's life is in danger and the doctors have to make a decision. Some of these things, there's layers, but ultimately, as much as I can be, my heart is towards saving the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I get it's a tough thing. I'm not here to debate you on it. It's just you can present your take, and if people in the audience are like, "Hey, I like that," they can join your community. If they're like, "Hey, I don't like that," they're like,
"Yeah,
there's a different community for it."
Yeah, well, and right now I think it's a little bit more important than ever, just because the birth rates have gone down significantly. We're having a population crisis, and people aren't talking about it enough. Our population's in decline. We're not having enough children to replace the current population that's fading out of existence. So we need to save as many lives as we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even Madonna had it right. She said she was keeping her baby, in that song "Papa Don't Preach."
I think she lied.
No.
Madonna doesn't lie.
Have you seen her face? She definitely lied. Wait, that's plastic.
Yeah, I think our current system structure is very much based off a pyramid, and you got to keep building that base. And when the population weakens, the thing begins to start looking like a house, not a pyramid.
Yeah.
And it's a structure, call it a scheme, call it whatever you want. It's a structure that we've based much of our society on.
Yep.
And so, we need more kids to do that. But
Joseph Saraz sends his love. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, Joey. What up, man?
Yeah.
And going back to the imaging, I recently, I'm I'm not a woman. I've only
What?
carried a baby once. No, I'm kidding.
Not a woman?
I don't know what a woman is, right? The imaging of it was interesting. So I'm trying to visualize that how that would be for a woman. But well, I recently broke my ribs, and it took me 2 weeks to go to the doc and have them look at it. And it was interesting that when I saw the X-ray and I saw that they were snapped and ugly looking, I was like, oh, I really need to simmer down.
Yeah.
By seeing what was inside me really shifted my perspective on
Yeah.
what was going on with me. And so I could kind of relate to that degree. But other than that, I have no idea what it would be like to be like, wow, there's something happening inside me. There's life, whatever. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
there's a documentary called Unplanned.
Yeah, so I was gonna mention that. It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah,
documentary. It's a docudrama.
Yes, yeah. The lady Abby Johnson in there, she was the employee of the year for Planned Parenthood, just abortion after abortion, making
Yep.
a ton of money for them. Until what really hit her
She was a Christian too.
yeah. And that's the other
Yeah.
thing is we may disagree. I may disagree with another Christian or even somebody secular, but I still love them, and I want them to know that we can have a conversation where we're actually tolerant. We're not the intolerant left, right? And so we're willing to have conversations, and people are welcome to come to our church if they even if they don't agree. And we're just going to love them so much that Lord willing they change. But she participated in an
Such a
abortion,
great
and
movie.
she watched a baby essentially get vacuumed limb by limb
Ugh.
and killed, and it completely changed her. And now she's one of the biggest pro-life proponents you can find. And so
And Planned Parenthood went after her and tried suing her for everything and
That's crazy.
tried to destroy her life to make an example out of her.
absolutely, and here we have this. They sell baby body parts. If they're not humans, how are they selling body parts, right? It's just the devil masquerades as the angel of light, and this is the father of lies. And so there's so much deception that cloaks abortion, right? We were all a clump of cells. We were all a baby in the womb. And so they can't speak for themselves. And so that's why we call it voice. We believe in being a voice for the voiceless.
Nice. I was going to actually suggest that you show that movie, but you already know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a really good idea though to show it. Yeah, I love that because we're doing a movie night coming up, and we're gonna watch The Forge. But
I have it on my Vudu. I can hook it up there actually, so you can play it on your big screen or Fandango now.
Fandango.
The Forge is good. I like that movie. The Forge is good. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a new courageous movie basically,
Yeah.
teaching men to be men because we need more of that in this society.
Yes. Yeah.
No more mansies.
Yeah. Schwarzenegger called him girly man, right?
Yeah.
Really, man.
Yeah. No more teenage boys doing how to hairstyle your hair tutorials.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's gross.
You may not notice, but I style my hair.
Speaking of which, I do have to say it was so awesome.
Did anyone have any lotion?
It was so awesome watching all the governors meet with Donald Trump, and he said, "Hey, he's the governor of Maine here." You know what I'm talking about? And she's like,
That's
"Yeah,
hilarious.
Are you gonna get on board? Like, I will obey all federal and state laws. Well, we are the federal law, and so you better get on board, or you're not going to get any federal money." The nation, the many are now speaking up and saying, we want men to be men. We want men to go out and conquer and build up and these things. And so movies like The Forge are great because, it really speaks to that, being of good character, being a man of honor, I really like how that kid in the movie, became who he became because of that and how big that organization was that they created where they met once a month and and he was first trying to pick up on that guy's daughter and then ended up getting a job and with somebody he'd never expected poured Christ into him without actually when one of my favorite sayings is "Preach the gospel and when necessary, speak." You know,
That's funny.
I don't know why that's funny.
That's good. That's really good.
When necessary.
Yeah, because let your life be portray the gospel in what you do, instead of just shoving scripture down people's throats, what most
like
people
that.
do.
Yeah, and to your point, like I feel like that's what we do at Patriot Church. In fact, I had a lady I could tell in the congregation this last week. She was kind of shaking her Bible at me when I opened up and I started talking about what Doge was doing and what's going on in our society, and that we talk about things like only men should go in men's restrooms, only
Yes.
men should compete against men in sports.
Absolutely.
We're still on
These
TikTok.
things aren't rocket science. It's common sense, right?
Yeah.
And so the whole identity crisis that we're facing, a lot of it is, this is by design. This is demonic. This is exactly what the devil wants. The devil, the Baphomet, is a male-female goat hybrid, right? That points up and down. It's disassociation with the true self. We're all made in the image of God, and he gives us the ability to become children of God by simply putting our faith in him, and that's our true identity. And so what they call toxic masculinity is what we're really experiencing in our culture is toxic feminism.
Yes.
And it's anti-woman. This is anti-woman to allow a man to compete against a woman in sports and win. It's egregious. I mean, they're even allowing it in some MMA.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just so. Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. The one I think Iranian dude that beat up that girl that got publicized, that actually irritated me
Yes.
to no end, because I was like, dude, how are you going to sit there as a ref and just let that happen? There's no way. Like, a high school boys team can beat a women's NBA pro team in basketball. Do you really think that two people of the same weight class that aren't the same sex are going to have a fair fight? How's that going to work?
Yeah.
So sad.
I mean, I get there's weird exceptions when people are, have unique stuff when they're born and may have been raised and they didn't know. There's always weird stuff, but I guess your DNA kind of says what it says.
Yeah, they want us to trust the science until the science doesn't work in their favor, right? Like the chromosomes.
Yeah. Trust the science when it's convenient.
There's always going to be a percentage that's like, I'm sorry, but it's not working for your favor on either side. It's like, weird things happen.
Yeah.
One of the best things Ken Peters ever said was this. He said, it was a full packed house in Spokane, and it was so awesome watching this happen. He goes, there's a lot of people out there that believe that you're born gay, and you saw people get up in arms, and ready and shouting and stuff. He goes, well, I'm here today to tell you that they're right. And I've never seen a church go so quiet. And everybody just turned white, and he says, what? It's called sin, people. We're born with it. So whether it's homosexuality, whether it's thievery, whether it's lying, whether it's murder, we're born into it, and the only way out of it is Jesus.
That's funny. That's really great.
We're born into a sinful world. You could say you're born gay, but the Bible says you must be born again.
Yes.
So, that's the bottom line for everybody. We got to be born again spiritually, and it takes humility. It takes humility, and that's the same thing that we see in our country. I mean, it's great to see Trump with the office of faith. Maybe not my favorite pastor is leading that, but at the end of the day, at least it's an office of faith.
Who's leading?
And and just to see all the counsel he gets, and the steps that he's taking to, it's pretty powerful. Now, Lord willing, there'll be some actual indictments and some people going to jail. Like, I hope we don't just get a whole bunch of this information and nothing happens. That would be tragic.
That'd be like Mosley School District all over again.
Right.
Just lost $39 million, but we're not going to investigate it. No.
Oh, and a lot we're not going to know until the dust settles. A lot of this stuff should have been done a long time ago, and now we're dealing with it on an extreme sense of cleanup. I mean, for 100 years. I mean, corruption's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and there's people that criticize Trump for his stance and all that, and I go, yeah, he's taking extreme action, and in the end, I hope he's a good guy. I hope he leaves the power to the people when it's all said and done. But
What's up, Shaq?
until
Shaq's watching.
until the dust settles, like I don't put my faith in any man. Like every 48 years we have another person in the office. It's like so. I hope he's doing the right thing. We won't know until the dust settles. Is kind of my take on it. I take kind of a neutral standpoint on there because I'm like, I like that he's cleaning house, but in the end, when the dust settles, I hope we're left with something better or something fair.
Yeah. When I think to your point, I just want to say career politicians are, that's the corruption that's ruining our country.
It is. Yes.
They're bought and paid for. We need term limits on every elected official. It's not hard.
Not just the president. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every position needs to have term limits so they can't be bought off by special interests and lobbyists. I think these are really important things.
It gives an opportunity for fresh voices to get in there instead of the same old good old boys club, as they call it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's not hard to uphold the laws that we put in place because this country is built on we the people, right? It's like we're the citizen kings. We don't need people in there to make laws for us. We vote on them. We decide how that works, and so it doesn't take a rocket scientist. And I think them uncovering this corruption is all of us are like, yeah, we know. It's so about time that this has happened.
Yes.
We really need. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think they're going to find any gold in Fort Knox. What do you guys think? What's the
eggs?
This is interesting for me because I try to study a lot of this, and a lot of it you don't know until the dust settles. So I believe that we're in a collapse and a rebirth right now.
Yep.
I don't know what the baby's going to look like. It's like
probably like me.
So Fort Knox, in one aspect, I think it's going to be loaded with gold, and if it is, they're going to put that. So. They're going to put that. Those assets. They're going to reclassify, or re-audit it, and say $41 an ounce is now $3,000 an ounce, and they're going to put that on the sovereign wealth fund ledger, in my opinion, and then they're going to, if they get Greenland, right, they're going to be like Greenland, they'll probably pay a billion, trillion in Bitcoin for it or whatever, and then they're going to take 5 trillion in assets and they're going to put that on the sovereign wealth fund ledger. Canada, whatever, all these crazy conspiracies out there, and we're going to go back to asset based. I think they know if it's got something in it or not. Now, if it's empty, I mean, we're already shocking the world by not funding the world anymore. We're pulling in the reins on that. So we're already shocking the world. But I was like, wow, if there's no gold in Fort Knox, it's going to really shock the world that there's no value in a lot of things. And I was like, what? And I don't know if that gets us quicker on blockchain.
I don't know why that would shock the world, because we've left the gold standard in 1917.
Yes, but a lot of countries have gold in reserves. It might not be linked to it, but the country's wealth is kind of based off. We unpegged from gold, but we got it. And now you're saying, so it'll be very interesting. Now, I don't know what happened to Saddam's gold when we went in there. I've heard a lot of different things, but I'm thinking they're going to open the vault, go, it's full of gold, and we're going to put it on the ledger. Now, if it's not there, that's going to shock the world again, and a lot of confidence will be lost in the United States. But I don't think, if it was empty, unless it's part of the plan, I don't think Trump's like, let's go in there and show the world we're broke. Like that. I have a hard time seeing, like, he knows what's there before he shows it. Like the game is planned out. And so if it's empty, there's a reason. But I'm like, I don't like that reason.
Yeah, no, that reason isn't good.
But I think it's gonna be full, and they're gonna reclassify it, throw on the ledger. If it's empty, I'd be like, wow, they're really trying to shake things up. Maybe that gets us on crypto faster. Maybe that gets us on this other stuff faster. But I think they could do it regardless, but maybe not. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are expecting it to be empty.
Well, one thing about
why
Fort
are you
Knox,
trying to weaken the dollar?
one thing about
But-
Fort Knox, if you like, share, and subscribe our show, that it helps the algorithm and it helps get viewers to see what we're talking about today. And if you like the show, then definitely you're going to put a little heart or a like on it and
Yeah.
follow and share it with your friends.
If you like the show, that means we like you.
Yeah, so please like, share, and subscribe. Once again, push all of Rick's buttons. Like,
Yeah.
share, subscribe. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Rumble, we're on TikTok. You name it, we're there. Just look for the Rixican Show.
Now, and the news is so hard to follow right now. So much is happening so fast, and it's a lot of drama. The Trump-Zelensky thing, they're ripping on each other, then they're making a deal, then it falls apart. We want his assets, and we don't. It's like the Ukraine Trump thing is like fascinating. Um, and and then a lot of things have to, like, I believe we're in a collapse and a rebirth. So a lot of things have to be reclassified. So when people are saying, why is Trump, messing with Russia? He's holding hands with Russia way too much. He's an agent. He's whatever. Like, I don't know. Saudi Arabia, if we're going to a new monetary system and getting off, selling oil and dollars as our reserve currency type deal, I was like, they got to make a new oil deal.
Yep.
And who are the world powers that control oil? Saudi Arabia and Russia. So I see them having to make a deal. And to make a good deal, you kind of got to be friends.
Yeah, at least a little bit.
Zelensky's kind of stuck in the middle. He's a little guy and he's getting pushed around. But
and a cross-dresser.
Now, and there's so much drama to that.
He is, though.
Yeah.
Beforehand. I mean, Russia wanted to join NATO in the 90s, and we told him no. He had to give up the bank, and he wouldn't give it up. So we're like, no, you're our enemy forever. It's like, and anyway, there's a lot of weird stuff there. But again, I try to take a neutral stance on it because it's politics. Both sides are dirty.
Yep.
No one's no one's squeaky clean.
Yeah, I think the one thing about Trump though is he broke the status quo. I'm a registered independent. I know that both sides, both wings are corrupt. They have been for years, at least most of our life.
I agree with that.
And what's wild is that in the late 70s, when they officially went completely away from the gold standard, right? I know it started with Woodrow Wilson, but in the 70s, since the 70s, we've accumulated where we're at, like what, a $39 trillion deficit.
Oh my God.
And
36,
national debt. And I like to tell people that 1 trillion seconds, you know how long 1 trillion seconds is?
A lifetime.
32,000 years.
Yeah, a lifetime.
1 trillion seconds is 32,000 years, and we're, over $30 trillion in debt. So, but what's crazy about the Fort Knox situation, and even when you're talking about Zelensky and Ukraine, all this, everything goes back to follow the money, right?
Yeah.
And so my question is, are they going to audit the Federal Reserve? Like, or is the Federal Reserve just going to get like?
I always laugh when they say that. They always, I hear a chuckle because the Federal Reserve is its own entity. They're not a federal.
Whether they get audited or not,
they're a private bank.
It's being defunded and destabilized as we speak.
Yeah,
the globalist power is being defunded, and I preach this a lot on my show, like. Democrat, Republican, Independent, we are slaves at the bottom arguing, and I compare it to your parents, what's for dinner and a macaroni and cheese. I don't want macaroni and cheese. Dad, can I have $20? That's us at the bottom arguing. The elite of the world have two political parties, the globalists and the populists. Globalists are like, they don't care about loss of life or blood. Populists do economic warfare. Trump is a populist. Now, there's some things he's doing that are globalist, though. And I was like, why is he acting like a globalist? Why does he want Greenland? Why does he want Canada? Many of these things were potentially in play, 20 years ago. The train is in motion. He's like, well, I can get on and do it my way, or the train is in motion. The thing has been planned. And so when you see both teams line up, you got to, I guess, pay attention to that.
Yeah.
If Trump's getting a green light, you're like, okay, the globalists are okay with this too, but they're getting dismantled at the time right now. It's a very fascinating time to live. At the same time, the globalists and populists don't necessarily have the agenda for we the people on both sides of that, from the little bit I've looked into it. So, but anyway, my whole point is we're at the bottom. And sometimes it's nice to remember that we need to come together, left, right. Let's not get distracted over so many small issues. Um, it's like they throw them at us on purpose.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you talked about pro-life and abortion and all that stuff, but those are some of the issues that divide us as a people, when really it shouldn't be an issue at all. You know, it
Yeah.
it should be, you know, I mean, yeah, you can say it should have been a state right, but they move it from federal to state to federal to state. Like they move it around, and now we're all bickering over something. Spiritually, you'd say that's a major detail, but like in the terms of government, they're like that's a little detail to stir the masses up. And so it's super interesting how distracted we are, and it's
divide and conquer, right?
divide and conquer. And I look at it and you get the people that hate Trump, the people that love Trump, and I go, man, where are the people in the middle that are like, okay, let's hope and pray when the dust settles, we're left better off than we have. Because if it's not Trump this time, it's another guy doing something else the next time. Every 48 years, we get another chump in office.
Well, don't you think though, Rick, that the other side, I mean, it used to be like, for example, JFK would be considered a right-wing bigot these days. Like if he was alive, he'd be a right-wing bigot.
Yes.
And you got RFK, and you got Tulsi Gabbard, you got Elon Musk, you got Joe Rogan, you got all these former, progressives or liberals like coming over to Trump's side. And the reason to me is because the left is so far left. I mean, they're literally national socialists. Little do they know that Nazi actually stands for National Socialist, right? And so I think they've gone so far. They're so far globalist. They're using that term that to me, it's like, well, Trump makes enough money that he really can't be bought and paid for. The guy's a billionaire. So I think that we're in a time where it's very dangerous, though. And I just want to say that for me, all the conspiracy theories most of them have been proven correct. We kind of need some new ones, right?
Yeah. We're running out.
Just watch.
I would say that we're probably on the brink of another Kung Flu or something, right? There's going to be another 9/11. There's going to be another, Wuhan lab leak. And speaking of Ukraine, right? They got labs there. So anyhow,
Yeah.
No,
Oh yeah.
There's always a risk for another. Let's keep them really distracted with another virus or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
There's always a risk for some of those things, but
especially when you're kicking hornets' nests like they are right now.
yes.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And like I say, we won't know until the dust settles where we're at. Like we don't know. Right now, the ride is happening, the train is moving, and we don't have any choice in the matter at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's why I think it's a very important move for Trump to be kicking us out of any sort of WHO treaties or things like that, because then they can't dictate our response to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can basically just be like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to do our thing. We're not going to shut down according to your regulations. We're America. We don't listen to you.
Yeah. Well, I think also in a collapse, you have to tighten the belt. Like if your home is, if your home is bankrupt and you're having a baby coming, you're like, no more spending, sell the car, sell everything.
We're eating ramen.
Ramen. And the ride up is much more fun than the ride down, folks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's really the bottom line. And so, like I said, I don't know what this baby new birth is going to look like. And hopefully we are left in a good position where the power and people have confidence in the end.
Wealth Rose says I would have to go with the populace as long as it keeps story time with the children from the purple-haired people.
The
hair sniffer.
The populists are the lesser of the evils.
He also said we can enact the Gold Act of 1934 through an executive order, right?
Yeah. Why not? Let's go.
Well, that's what's interesting is, Andrew Jackson, when he ran his campaign, it was Jackson versus the bank, right?
Oh, I love that story, man.
And then Lincoln, of course, Lincoln failed after he wants to bring back a currency that's backed by gold 100%. And What happened to JFK when he wanted to do, have greenback?
Ronald Reagan was doing the Grace Commission and got shot in the shoulder.
Right. But we don't see any of these liberals getting their lives taken. And so to me, there is while there is not something that, I don't fully trust Trump. I don't worship Trump. I only worship Jesus. And I think, there's flaws in his game, but I do see a stark contrast between where the left is at now. I mean, in Washington, we have things like SB 5599, where a child can run away, the state will take them, set them up for gender reassignment surgery, and not tell the parents where the child's at.
Yeah.
Because the parent has no right in Washington State to know.
Right, but that's state-sponsored kidnapping and child mutilation.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how far the left has gone crazy. I don't know. I think I go with the reset over complete and total.
Definitely got to have him on the show again, man.
Yeah.
Definitely got to have Aaron on the show again.
Yeah.
There's we give a lot of rights away unknowingly, and the simplest way to say it is
For a false sense of security.
Yeah, you go through all the conspiracy of when you're born, you get a birth certificate, and you get your social security number. We're giving our rights to the state. And when you vote, you're voting for an estate manager. Your elected officials are estate managers. They just drop the E off estate. And another simple thing is too, on your cell phone, how many apps do you click that say, do you agree to the terms and conditions?
Yeah.
Have you read the terms and conditions?
And you're like, and when you're clicking yes, you're saying, please spy on me, please spy on me, please. Spy on me.
Exactly.
You've
Please sell my information. Please sell my information.
You've already agreed to it. The Uniform Commercial Code says a creditor can monitor a debtor. Do you owe taxes? Do you owe this or that? They can watch you under the codes they have, and so it's already happening, folks. We when we hear about it, we get upset, but I'm like, it's been happening a long time.
Yeah.
The codes and policies, whatever, they have every right to watch you. Crazy.
Well, time to be alive.
It is an exciting time.
Yes.
But my only advice is be flexible right now. There's going to be things that are going on. I think we're going to have 100-year events happen this year. Some people think they've already felt it. I'm like, just wait.
I'm going to try this one more time. Do you own a business and accept credit cards? Most companies can take 2 days or more to get the funds to your bank account. Many of them have extremely high rates and fees, especially with reward and program cards. Parallel Economy gets you your money the next day. Censor-resistant payment processing with no monthly surcharges. Plus, there's no contracts. 24/7 merchant support, and they will match or beat your rate and have rates as low as 1.49%. Switch to Parallel Economy today. Link in the description box.
Or Patriot Economy, whichever one you want, really.
Silence.
Well, usually when we wrap stuff up, I've been talking about a survival tactic or something. Since it's Patriot Church, right? We can talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
I put this in. So I want to talk about.
I farted though, so you might know what I'm saying here.
That's not about survival.
Oh, just kidding. I didn't.
That's the opposite of survival.
I wasn't going to talk about gas. I was going to talk about, how can I say, bulletproof walls.
Yes.
How to bulletproof them. So what we did, and this was through a friend, we went outside, right? We built our little thing, and it was a piece of sheetrock, 2x4s, and a piece of plywood, OSB, basic building construction. And then we filled it with sand. And then at 15 yards away, boop, boop, that's the sound of the police. At 15 yards away, we shot different calibers to the wall. So we shot a 22. Didn't penetrate. It did go through the plywood. Then we shot a 9mm. The 9mm did not go through the plywood. It went in about a 1/4 inch and bounced. And that could have just been a low, powder round. A plus P would do it.
Yeah.
So if you need a little oomph in your 9, plus P.
Nice.
What else we did? 30-06.
Oh yeah.
Didn't go through it.
Really?
Yeah. 12 gauge slug. didn't go through it, but it did crack the sheetrock on the back side.
Huh.
So sand can make your walls, lead resistant. It's
Interesting.
So, who would have thought that, I mean, in the military, it's sandbags. It's a piece of canvas, right?
Yeah.
A piece of tarp wrapped around some sand. And, they're 8 inches wide, and it's going to stop some crazy stuff, I don't know how much I haven't tested it with a 50 BMG, but like,
Let me go get mine. I'll be right back.
I bet if it was double stacked, it probably would, slow that sucker down. But it's something to think about. I mean, if it's stopping a 30-06, I mean, that's a rifle round at 20 yards away.
Yeah,
it's all point blank range. But it'll stop any handgun, any whatever. So in an emergency, if you feel your property is in threat, you can cut open the wall.
John Perry, thanks for joining the show. And
filling it with sand. Now,
interesting.
I don't know where we have sand in Moses Lake. If you were in trouble and needed some sand, where would you go? Right?
Yeah, preemptively go to the dunes and just grab a bunch of buckets.
Hey,
you notice that
number 2 says poor Josue.
Oh, I know. I am poor.
If you notice, some of the sand dunes aren't as high as they used to be. Maybe people are already doing it. I don't know. But it was just a simple test.
Thanks for the shout, Jeff. No, John Perry, thank you.
It was just a simple test. And if, however you want to do it, and you can use different things to bulletproof a wall. So there you go.
Oh, crap. We got restricted.
TikTok doesn't like us.
Yeah.
Got booted.
Your live is not eligible for recommendation. Restricted search results because your live feeds do not comply with the feed eligibility standard under community guidelines. Misinformation that may cause moderate harm.
Oh.
It was the 30-06.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always getting kicked off.
TikTok jail again.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Made it an hour, though.
Yeah, we got through a whole abortion talk and they still didn't kick us off. But as soon as you start, mentioning how you could stop bullets going through walls, they have a problem. Yeah.
That's probably what it was. The bullets. And I'm like, I don't know.
Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Reason? Misinformation.
Yeah.
It's very specific.
I would say it's life-saving.
Yeah.
Misinformation, but life-saving.
Anyway.
It's true. It's not all lead. It's copper-coated. I apologize.
He wasn't specific enough. My bad. Yeah, like bulletproof walls. Like, wow.
Thanks for joining us today, Pastor Aaron. Love to have you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
My pleasure. My pleasure. If I could just say one last thing before I go. Truthfully, the battle we fight is spiritual. It's not physical. There's only one lifesaver. His name is Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Call upon the name of the Lord Jesus Christ and you will be saved. You will be covered by the blood of Jesus. We don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against principalities and powers. And they're demonic.
Yes.
And there's a demonic agenda in this world, and it's coming after your children. They sing songs about it. So come on down to Patriot Church if you believe in faith, family, freedom, and fellowship. We'd love to have you. God bless you. Thank you, Rick, and everybody here. I just appreciate being on tonight.
Thanks, Aaron, for joining us. And if you're looking for a free meal, Sunday evening, 7 p.m.
Yep.
And it was enchiladas.
Yeah, my mom's making them. They're going to be legit.
This Sunday?
Come on.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
This Sunday.
I'll be there.
Hey, we got another one going. Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.